I'm Ed Wallis. I am Head of Policy and Public Affairs at Locality. So Locality is a network of around 600 community organisations. They're organisations which tend to be based in quite deprived areas of the country, and they're spread all around England. And so they're place-based, multi-purpose organisations which tend to be formed when local people recognise that a particular need isn't being met, so they kind of band together and decide that they're going to kind of meet it themselves. So our Keep It Local campaign started a few years ago, increasingly recognising that particularly in local authority public service commissioning, just the increasing prevalence of your big outsourcing companies delivering local services, so your kind of G4Ss and Serco, that kind of shift in the public service delivery market towards scale. And increasingly we were finding that not only does that leave local areas with less good services, those kind of tick box services which don't meet people's needs, leave people recycling around services and actually drive up demand and drive up costs in the long term, so they aren't actually saving money. But they're also meaning that important local providers, like our member organisations, are just being completely crowded out the public service space. So the Keep It Local campaign has been trying to make that case that this shift towards scale means that you not only end up with worse services, it means those kind of that local kind of community infrastructure is being undermined. And the thing that we've been particularly focusing on for the Keep It Local for Economic Resilience project has been around the economic impact of that. So we believe that our members are important contributors to the local economy, through the kinds of things that we've been talking about around retaining wealth in disadvantaged areas and have a lot of economic impact, that's something which local authorities, particularly at a time where their budgets are ever tighter and they're looking to get more bang for their declining buck, that they've got a real opportunity actually by working with their local organisations to deliver services, to not only get good quality services, but they've also got the opportunity to keep money in their local area and deliver some additional really powerful social value through their public spending budgets. So we've been focused on that argument and really trying to see how we can make it work in practice. So we've been working with 6 local authorities to think through commissioning and procurement. So what are the barriers to keeping it local? What are the opportunities? How can we, because we quite often find with local authorities that they'll get this argument instinctively. They'll know their local organisations. They'll know that they do a good job, and they'll kind of want to keep supporting them, and they'll want to commission them to deliver services. But we kind of frequently hear that there are kind of legal or technical reasons to do with EU procurement rules, etc., which means, well, we can't do this. It's got to be kind of purely open competition, and we just can't. It's got to be Serco and G4S. So we've been working with them to try and get through those kind of barriers and show different techniques and approaches to procurement which do allow you to harness the innovation of your local providers. But then we've also been working with our members in those 6 areas to help them try and tell a better story about the economic impact that we think we know that they have, but don't always have the evidence to back up that story. So really trying to work with both sides and build a strong partnership in these local places between the local authority and the local community organisations. So our Keep It Local for Economic Resilience project that we've been working with Friends Provident Foundation on has been, it's been an action research process. So we've developed a body of kind of evidence and learning over the course of an 18-month period through working in these 6 areas, and we've kind of published our final report from that, Powerful Communities, Strong Economies, which sets out what we've learned and sets out an economic resilience framework with 7 characteristics of a resilient local economy, which we think can shape local authority commissioning practice and get them to think about how they can commission for economic resilience. And it's something which community organisations can use to help them evidence their economic resilience impact and tell that story. So we've produced that report, and now what we're going to be looking to do is to turn that into kind of really practical action. So we'll be working to develop some guidance for local authorities for how they can keep it local and how they can use these materials and what the different commissioning methods are and different opportunities. So we'll be working with local authorities to try and get that practical change on the ground. And then we're working with NEF Consulting to develop a toolkit for community organisations which takes our 7 characteristics and then shows an organisation how they can measure their economic impact against these characteristics. So we're going to be working with kind of both sides of the equation, the local authority side and the community side, to try and achieve some real change in practice.